just saying that as far as I'm concerned, and I heard it from people on the USA Canada Forum training site, that the secretary position is the most important position in the club. It's why Mike Collins gave me 2 hours because it just takes longer to tell you all what the position really includes. So I think what I will do is start by sharing my screen and starting with my PowerPoint presentation. This is it's a little dry, but it is a good place to start. And then once we kind of go through this PowerPoint, I want to really take you online, and we'll just start touching and feeling these websites and working with the programs themselves. I mean, the processes themselves, if that sounds good. The PowerPoint, let me make sure I get the right one, because when I brought it up the first time with Mike, it was the one that I'm looking at as opposed to the one. Can you all see it? I hope.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. Should be a beautiful purple goldy kind of thing that says Officer Training District 37. All right. And as we've already discussed, let's advance here. Thank you. We are here to do club secretary training. And I guess to start with, we can kind of define the position. The secretary is under the direction of the president, but I have to tell you that in a lot of clubs, including mine, because Mike Tobin, who's my husband, was the president in our club, and I might have been under his direction, but he pretty much did what I told him to do. So if your club has a board of directors, the secretary is also, obviously very involved with that. He or she is a liaison between the club, the district, and the association. The zone is another area that we're going to be talking about too. But you have a lot of responsibilities as the club secretary. Obviously, you're going to have custody of the general records of the club, and you're going to be responsible for maintaining such things here as the minutes of the meetings and board meetings, if that's applicable. We don't have a board at Coutts Sweetgrass, but I'm sure that some of your clubs may have a board, which is usually your officers, maybe. One of the things to keep in mind here is that while we're talking kind of in generalities, because every club is going to do things their own way. And so not every club is going to be defined exactly like this. You're responsible for maintaining the attendance at the meetings. You're responsible for making records of who the committee appointments are in elections, and pretty much all this stuff can just be in your minutes, but you're going to want to have these things identified as they happen in each of your meetings. We're responsible for maintaining the membership information, their addresses and phone numbers, and each of their club accounts. If someone moves, gets a different address, you need to be sure that your club members know that if they change any of their information, they should let you know, because otherwise your information is not going to be correct, that you're maintaining for LCI. In addition to that, you're going to be submitting monthly membership reports on the websites that we're going to go to, the MyLI and MyLCI. It's all in one place now. You don't go to two different places, but there are different sections of that website. You're also going to be responsible for submitting the service activity reports. And this one has been tough because they moved us to a different website from what we used to use a couple years ago. And if the district governor's cabinet needs reports for some reason, you may be be asked to send things there, especially if within your zone. You're going to engage as an active member of the district governor's advisory committee within your zone. The zone chair is responsible for meeting with the individual clubs, and usually that's the president and secretary. So that's why I'm saying that you can be an active member within the zone, because the zone is part of the governor's advisory committee. How weird is that? I didn't even know what a zone was. And they asked me to be a zone chair. How scary is that? And you want to be able to, at the end of your term, by the way, I replaced someone whose term lasted 10 years. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you only have to do this for a year. In fact, I think honestly, if you are the secretary and you kind of get some of this, these processes under your belt, it would be nice to actually continue to do it for a year or 2 or 3. It's a lot of, I don't know, you get comfortable with it, believe it or not, eventually. So anyway, but when you get replaced by someone else, obviously that person who is succeeding you needs to be able to have that transition occur very smoothly. So there are 6 primary responsibilities. You need to organize the club and board meetings, be a part of that. Now, when I was a secretary, I actually did the agendas. Oops. Stop that. But obviously you're going to attend the meetings. It's really hard to take minutes if you're not there. If the president requests it, you can prepare the agendas or do that in conjunction with the president. Our president right now does the agendas herself. So again, each club is a little different, but work with the president to find out what that person's preference is if they want you to be involved. Preparing the agendas actually kind of helps you prepare for, your minutes too. I actually created a template from each agenda so that when I actually sat down at the meeting, it was a lot easier to take the minutes, because I just kind of used that as a template and then filled in what actually happened. So you're going to keep club records. You're going to receive correspondence. You send those donations out to your various groups within your communities. Maybe the senior citizens get a check from you for Christmas stuff, or you support the library and your community center, all those different things. So you'll get thank you, hopefully, from students and who we're supporting. I heard somebody, what was that? Oh, Elaine's on the phone.
All righty. Okay.
Bye-bye. We need to complete and file the club reports. We will get to that when we go on to My LCI and My Lion. That has to do with your monthly memberships, your new officers, those kinds of things. You need to engage as an active member, again, of the District Governor's Advisory Committee of the zone, and that's simply because you are the secretary of your club. But that will be kind of dictated by how often your zone chair has you get together. So let's kind of talk about the meetings. Before the meeting, obviously, we're going to be creating a meeting agenda with the president, or at least getting it from the president so that you have an idea of what's going to be going on during the meeting. You're going to provide members with advance notice of the meeting. Now, again, I sent out the emails with the agenda to my club. Right now, our president is doing that, and that's just her preference. She likes to do those things. So I don't know how all of you do it, but some of these things are, again, going to depend on how you're organized. You're going to assemble the correspondence that needs to be read and distributed during the meeting. If there's anything that you need to pass out to everybody, make sure that you've got all of that ready. Prepare any new awards or new member kits. I didn't really realize what was in the new member kit. First time we had some new members, and I'm sitting there at the meeting going, oh, there's a membership card, and it's supposed to have their name and their number and all kinds of stuff on it. I'm supposed to sign it. And I'm like, oh my goodness. But, the new member kit has, certificates that need to be filled out ahead of time, signed by the appropriate people, your sponsor award, your membership, I can't even think, certificate that goes to the new member, all those things. Just when you go to a meeting, make sure that all that stuff has been done before you get there. I found out that it takes a little longer to do some of those things and find the people who need signatures. Get there a little ahead of time if you need to, if you do need signatures on some of the stuff before the meetings started. I never worried about the club roster for taking attendance, quite frankly. What I had done in my minutes is I had a list of all of our members at the top, and I would use that template each meeting and just cross out who wasn't there. And there is a roster on the MyLion that you can print out and use if you want to, and keep track of the attendance that way. But again, I just used a minutes template that I had that had all the names listed and made it pretty easy for me. Then you get to the meeting. Obviously, you're going to take attendance. I just listed all of those who were present at the meeting. I never listed who wasn't present. We have about 44 members now. So it's gotten to be a little different than when I was first starting out. We only had about 20. It was kind of easy to take attendance. But again, depends kind of on the size of your club and who shows up for your meetings. Lots of times people want to be involved in Lions and they want to do the work of Lions. They don't necessarily want to come to meetings. And I don't know, in our club, that's okay. We're happy to have people who are signing up to do the work. Obviously, you're going to record the minutes at the meeting. And then one of the things that I always did, because I made it part of the agenda, was to gather the activity information from my committee chairs. You know, if you've got 4 or 5 things going on and you need to know how many hours and who all was involved in that particular activity. Because when we get to the point where we go into the activity reporting, you kind of need to know all that stuff. So I used to use the meeting as a way of communicating back and forth with my members as to who had been doing what. It's pretty easy when you've got several people who are signed up on a committee, you know, like to do the pancake supper or clean the highway or those kinds of things. But again, having everybody, and I used to even just take a piece of paper and pass it around the meeting and say, hey, write down your volunteer hours for the month. We only meet once a month, by the way. I know some of you guys meet weekly, so you have a lot more opportunity to have your people pass on that information to you. You need to have new members complete those the new membership forms that need to be done if they haven't provided that. We actually have a membership committee now, and that's been really good because they can make sure that all the forms are filled out so that, again, you can prepare those certificates and membership cards and stuff for your new members. Our club actually doesn't usually have guest speakers. But I've been visiting some clubs. My husband's the district governor now, and I've hopped in the car with him a few times and gotten to go to some clubs. And I love the fact that some of the clubs bring in guest speakers. We've suggested that for our club. I guess maybe they don't feel like there's anybody in Sunburst. I don't know, but yeah, a lot of clubs, I know you have guest speakers and you want to be sure and document who came and who visited and that kind of stuff with your meeting. After the meeting, obviously you want to be sure that you've recorded your attendance. This is all, you know, finalizing your minutes might be another way to define this process. The secretary is going to assist the treasurer with dues. When we collect our dues in December because, you know, you're going to get your semi-annual bill from LCI in actually at the end of December, 1st of January for half of the year. You're going to get the district dues. They come in January as well. And we just decided that this was a good time to collect dues was in December. And part of that is that you don't want to have members on your roster who have decided not to continue for whatever reason, and then get the bill from LCI and pay for someone who isn't going to give you dues. So this is an important process, and you can work with your treasurer to make sure that your membership roster is correct for LCI to use to send bills. You want to file and distribute a copy of the minutes after they're approved. I email the minutes to the club after the meeting so they could read them and maybe make any corrections before the next meeting. It was just, I typed them in the meeting. It's just the way I operate, but everybody has their own process. But I do recommend making sure that your club members can get a copy of the meeting, especially those people who don't come to meetings, but who want to know what's going on so that they can participate. So obviously, if you have received new membership applications from your club chair or membership chairperson, and those need to be presented to your board or club for actually require club approval for our memberships. And also, you'll need to have that information correct when you actually go to enter them in. Succession planning is something that, again, we kind of talked about. I was the secretary for about 3 years, but at some point in time, it may be time to pass this on to someone else. So you're going to want to make sure that if you're the new secretary, that, hey, you attend some training, which I'm really excited that our district offers. You're going to want to meet with the current secretary, figure out what's going on that needs to be passed on. Maybe outstanding things haven't been done in the system yet. Normally this occurs at the end of a fiscal year. So hopefully the activity reporting is up to date, the membership reporting is up to date, but you're going to need to create your account so that you can get into MyLCI and do the reporting. There are training materials on that website as well. And the officer membership information, you want to make sure that's correct on the club roster, because if it's not, then the information coming from international will be wrong, and the directory that's coming from our district will be wrong. So it's really important that all of those kinds of things get transitioned if you're moving from one secretary to another, and especially if you're doing it in the June, July timeframe when all these things need to have been done. You want to work with your club president and treasurer, make sure that if there's an annual budgeting process that you're up to speed on that. If you're the outgoing secretary, obviously you need to be helping the new secretary do these things. This is what the new MyLCI MyLion website looks like. And if you're going to another website that used to be used and it doesn't look like this, then that might be one of the reasons why you're not able to get into what is now the MyLCI and MyLion areas. So we will be doing this together here live, but I just wanted to kind of give you what the website looks like, and it's mylci.lionsclubs.org is where you want to be going. There's an app for your phone too, which I have on my phone, but I have to be totally honest, I don't use it. I'm a computer-y kind of person. Once you log on, this is what you should see. You should see MyLion, MyLCI, Insights, Learning, Shopping, and Connecting. And you'll see your club's service metrics. Now, if you look at this, you'll see that Coot Sweetgrass is not entered anything in. I'm happy to tell you that this was done a while ago. So when we log in, this is what a club would look like if you haven't been doing any activity reporting and we need to get caught up. I will show you when we go online that fortunately mine doesn't look like that now. And let's go back here for a sec. MyLCI, the second one, is for those of you that have been doing the secretarial job for more than a couple of years. This website is what you used to see for everything, including activity reporting. Now this is where you maintain your membership lists, where you maintain current officer information, where you make all of your updates and changes to those kinds of things. The MyLion, which was the first icon in the once you get home, is where you're going to do your club activity reporting. And we will do all of that I just kind of wanted to say that, you know, the website is broken up into kind of 6 different components now. We're going to talk mainly about 3 of them. Why report service? I really thought it would be important to talk about this a little bit before we go to the websites. And I have a handout, a single page handout that I got at last year's convention from the gal that was there. She's an international director, and she sent me some of this stuff. But why do report? I mean, who cares, right? Well, it helps to transfer knowledge and best practices to your club's future leaders. You can, because if someone new comes on board, they can go in and kind of see what the club's been doing at, I think other clubs can log in, and obviously at a district level, they can log in. At an LCI international level, they can log in and see all of this. But reporting should be a matter of local pride. Put your club on the map, and it's important to share our successes with each other. A high percentage of clubs reporting service is a sign that we have a healthy district. So obviously part of this training is to make sure that the clubs in our district, District 37, Montana, have at least been given an opportunity to find out how to do this. And truly they have simplified it. Thank God. A couple of years ago, you had like a 5-page thing to go through, and now you can do it in a single page, depending on what you're reporting. It allows your club to become eligible for service awards. Those are just a few. I will be emailing all of you that I've emailed 8 of you this sheet already, but for those of you who signed up after the 5th, I'll make sure you get this too. The people we serve, what do they get out of our reporting service? Well, the service data helps us understand the needs in our community. And maybe we provide ideas for each other. Maybe we look out and we go, wow, look what they were doing in Shoto with, their senior citizens, or look what Sunburst did with their community center, or look what Helen is doing with, some fundraiser. It also, if it catches the eye of LCI, something that your club is doing could become a new global initiative of our entire organization. But LCI can't select new initiatives if they're not aware of the projects that are being done at the club level. So it is for visibility for our parent company, if you want to call it that, to know what's going on. Measurement leads to insight. So reporting is really the final step in completing your service projects. And I didn't know this until last night, that the act of reporting is considered service, and it can be reported as service hours. So you, the secretary, need to make sure that as you're doing your reporting, that you actually add enough to the service hours for that project to include what it's taking you to get that information out there to other clubs in our district, to our district officers, to LCI. The other thing that is available on the LCI website, of those 6 icons, it said learn. Remember how it said learn? Well, that training is available. Secretary training is available on my LCI. And some of the things that I showed you earlier on about what are the things that should be happening before and during and after the meeting, I got some of those off of this training. And I thought it was interesting that, see, here's the online training. And this, you can do that. You can go to the LCI Institute. There's some information there. Whoops, what happened? I skipped out of it. I must have ended my slideshow. Sorry. Are we back on? There we go. But I found it really cool that our local training for the club officer training for secretaries tonight was actually listed on this website. So somehow Mike knew how to go in and put the training that we're doing at our local level on the MyLCI website. How cool is that? And finally, we have a club secretary ebook. It's a PDF. And I will also supply that to everyone so that you can see it. And it has a lot of the same kind of information. For me personally, I felt that going online and doing hands-on stuff helped me probably more than anything I could read. So I'm going to stop sharing this PDF. You're all still there, I think, maybe. I haven't lost it too many people yet, I hope. I'd really like to do some website stuff, but I want to find out if there's any questions. Have I said anything so far that doesn't even ring a bell, or do you want me to expound on anything? No.
I had a question, and you may be going through it, but I had issues with trying to report past months' membership and attendance.
Right.
And I missed August, and then I missed November somehow. And so I don't know how to, can you go back to that?
You can go back a little ways. You can't go back too far. August is probably kind of gone, but November you should be able to do. So let's go ahead. I'm going to bring up, let me see if I can. Yeah, we're going to go there. I have to share that, don't I? Can you tell that the whole sharing the screen thing is like, I pulled it up in front of me, but none of you could see it. That was really smart. So, okay, I get to share my screen again, and I'm going to go to.
Can you explain I guess I don't necessarily do a membership reporting status every month.
Okay.
And every other month.
Well, and some people don't, because an awful lot of the time, basically all you're going to do is say, you're going to say, we had no changes.
Right.
And the secretary that we have now doesn't do that if she hasn't had any changes. But it's really easy to do. It's a single click to say that you didn't have any changes.
Right.
So obviously logging on, for me, it's an email and a password. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, we're going to pray. Of course, right? Isn't that what's supposed to happen when you're trying to show somebody?
It always does, doesn't it? Then you hit the back arrow and it'll log in.
Well, actually what may happen is I may be logged in when it comes back up. See, it's a miracle. It's just a miracle. Now, I didn't really want to start here, so I'm going to go back to the Lion account so you can actually see where you should have ended up, which would have been the home page. So here we are. And look, Coots Sweetgrass has had some activity in the reporting. Thank God it doesn't say 0 anymore. I was embarrassed when I saw that. Okay, so here are all of the different areas that you can go into from what they're now calling the member portal. By the way, every member in your club can get a login to this portal and see the activities and stuff. Obviously, they won't be able to see or do anything with any of the information, but they can have access, and especially to go shop. We had several members that really wanted their member ID number so they could get an account, so they could go buy hats and stuff. So we're going to start with, I always get confused with My LCI, which isn't the first one, but this is the one. This is the one that you're going to access in order, like you say, to do membership stuff. Now, I am actually set up now as a club administrator, and I haven't actually tried to see what all I can do here. So here's your home page. You can look at your current officers. Hopefully they are correct. Who the club president is, who your first vice, second vice, if you have them, club secretary, our treasurer, our chairperson for our membership. We have an LCIF coordinator. We don't have a club service chairperson. We do have a communication chairperson. So this is the Coots Sweetgrass slate of officers. And you can go in and you can edit a term or whatever, but I'm just going to go through this real quick. Under officers, you'll notice that we have the current year, we have the next year, and this is really important. In April, when you come up and you have your next year's officers elected, I don't know how many of you do it in April. We do it in April. But by the end of May, you want to have been able to go in, and all you have to do, it's so easy. We used to have to fill out some kind of a piece of paper and fax it to somebody. So you have to come in and look at this. You can go and you'll
The
get
old
all.
PD 101, the PD 101.
Yeah,
PD.
that's what it was. The PD 101. You don't do that anymore. You just go on to My LCI and you go in and you select who the new president is. You can see who the current officers are. They're in red. I'm not going to do this because obviously I don't want to, I suppose I could select somebody. Let's see, I can select Sally. So now I have Sally, but I'm not going to save it because obviously we haven't even elected 22, 23. But this is all you have to do. Here's all of the potential officers. If your club doesn't have them all, you just leave them vacant. That's fine. But all you do is click add officer, select your member and save, and your PD 10, what was it, Tom?
PD 101.
Yeah, is done. And this is something that we're really struggling as a district to make sure this happens, because that directory that we do each year comes out of this. Now, we have the new and improved MontanaLions.org website. And you're going to be able to, we're going to go there here at some point, not right this very second. But anyway, I need to now come up here. I don't even know what conventions is. Look at that. Oh, wow. Well, we know it's in Great Falls. I knew that. Here's your governor's email and his direct phone number. So I had no idea that that was in here. That's kind of cool. New club applications. We don't have any pending new clubs. Okay. That would be if you actually maybe had we have under our club a branch club, Shelby Lions. They have 7 members. We're hoping to get them up to 20 in the next year or so. But so that would be where you might put something like that. Here's your statements and dues. This would be, there we go. Yay, we have 0 due. Oh, look at this. We have a charge that we've incurred for $8.95. I don't know what that is, but you can kind of see where your statements are. As the secretary, you can't do anything with them. You can view them, but the treasurer obviously is the one who wants to go in here and get those paid and stuff like that. Service activities. Now, get what it's going to say here. Oh, guess what? This is now in My LCI. So that's really helpful. I don't know why they still have that there. And that's going to be there. So let's look at members. Let's go back up here to members. Very first thing. So we discovered, because of the training that I did about a year ago, we discovered that all of our members were just regular members. And we were under the impression that if you were part of a household and paid a lower due, that you didn't have all of the rights and privileges of a regular member, voting privileges and stuff like that. So guess what? We discovered that we'd been overpaying dues for years and years and years. We're 80 some years old. And so now when you look, you will see that we have Lyle here as the head of the household. His spouse is Adele, and Adele is here as a spouse. She pays half of the LCI dues that Lyle pays. So as a couple, they pay for 1.5 of the LCI annual dues of $45. And so when you get statements, you will see that your family units don't have to pay for as much as a single member does. And most of the reason for this is because, you know, the Lions magazine that they send out, they save a lot of money in printing and all those kinds of things when they're only sending 1 magazine per household. Mike and I got 2 magazines for years because we had no idea in our club, because we'd never done it that way, that you could actually create these households. And so when you want to, like, okay, let's take Sally. Her husband isn't a member yet, but if you wanted to create a family unit here, you could go in and select. These people down here aren't eligible because they're already a spouse of somebody else, but you could come in here, and if Sally's husband Rick was in here and you saw Rick Asham, you'd be able to select him, and then you could create this new family unit. And so we did that, and it saved the club a lot of money, and it saved our members money, which we thought was kind of nice. Let me see if I'm just going to pretend here. Let's create a family unit with Kristen. I know that her daughter is, I want to say that it's Jasmine. So I'm going to add Jasmine as a child. And we're going to pretend that we've seen a birth certificate. Other forms of verification would be I think that's what we used on all of ours, because honestly, we don't ask our new members for driver's licenses or social security cards or anything like that. Now, see, I'm getting an error because the family unit members have to live at the same residence and they have different addresses. So I'm not going to be able to actually add this in. But assuming that they had the same address, then you would be able to add that family unit, and you'd be able to go in and have their dues reflect the fact that they're sharing the Lions magazine and some of the other things that Lions does when they have a member. So this was all kind of pretty new. Now here's another one. Let me show you what we could do here. Here's Willow. Oops. Let me back up. Let me cancel this one. Because we have a couple who are members who don't happen to be married. And I was asked, well, what about Tyler and Willow? Because as you can see, they both have a PO Box 363. And why can't they be a family unit? So let's see what would happen, because I'm going to take Willow. I'm going to say, see, there's nothing in here for, let's just say other legal. I don't know. Let's see what happens if we do this. Let's see if we can do it. It let us. So Willow needs to be, so right now I've got Tyler as the head of the household. Willow is other legal. And by golly, it let me do it. So does Peggy save this? Probably I won't. I'll probably talk to my secretary and say, hey, I figured out a way to do this. I think her problem was that she couldn't find a relationship and they aren't legally anything. So this would probably be kind of pushing the limit a little bit. However, at some point in time, I'm guessing, I think they're engaged, honestly, that, that'll happen. But this is something that you might see in your clubs a lot, where you've got two people who are living together. They are a unit, but they aren't a legal unit. So that would be the question that you'd have to kind of ask yourselves as to whether you want them to become a household member or not. But this is important for your club members. And we actually decided, because we were going, well, do we charge less dues just because we happen to have a married couple? And is that fair for our single members? And we came up with the idea that we're going to charge everybody for the district and LCI dues together an amount that was kind of, I guess you would say, split amongst all of them. It's like $40 or something like that. And the club will make up any difference that they have out of our other admin funds. But you might want to talk about, because we really had quite a discussion in our club as, is it fair that the couple only has to pay, like $80 and a single person has to pay $65 or whatever those dues were. I think between the district and LCI, we're up to like $67 and something. And so if you want your dues to be paid by your membership and covered by your members, so that your club isn't paying dues that haven't been supported by the members, then you have a raised hand, Dawn. Yes.
My question is, if you add somebody, a new member into this member list, do you have to do anything else to report that to LCI?
No, nope. Once you add your member in here, here's how we would do a new member. And you put all their information in. And this should come off of the application form that they've completed. You have their name, gender, and date of birth. And it won't let you skip those, by the way. You can say that they don't want to answer the question, and that's fine, but the date of birth is important. And I wondered why, but it has to do with they want to confirm that, it's an adult versus a child, Their join date, the member type. I would assume that they would all be regular members unless you've got a Leo's Club, or if you have an honorary member, I think they cost. We had a gal who'd been, she was in her 90s. She'd been a member for a long time. We looked at being able to make her like a permanent, I can't remember what the term was. Anyway, it was really expensive. So the club just paid her dues for her. It was just easier. And you want to select your sponsor. And again, you would have lots of choices here. I didn't realize this, but you can actually have a sponsor maybe from a different club. Interesting. Okay, so you would pick whoever in your club was the sponsor, unless they were from someplace else, maybe. I know my husband has a really good friend who's probably going to join the Ennis Club, so he might still be able to be the sponsor. Huh. See, I don't remember that being there before. Occupation does not have to be put in. Your spouse or companion can be. The country obviously is going to be the United States. And then whatever contact information they're willing to give you, and then you save that file. So yes, once you enter this in, this information is now all visible to LCI. I discovered something interesting because I thought they just did their dues based on every 6 months. But I discovered that they new membership dues and billing, this was effective July of 2017. You can go on LCI, or you can just go to the internet and say, hey, what are the membership dues for Lions? They actually prorate. So the semi-annual due for for a member is $21.50. If they are a member as of July 1st, if they don't become a member till August 1st, it's $17.92. September is $14.33, October is $10.70. So they actually prorate it on a monthly basis. And you should see that on the statements that come through, or your treasurer should see it on the statements. So I thought that was kind of cool that we don't have to pay, for somebody not being there the whole time.
I have a question.
Okay.
Back to the household and those where they can get a reduction. We have a father with 2 sons, but they all live in different households, so they can't be a household unit.
No, they can't. I think the preface here is that if it's a mom or parent and children, that the children are probably Leos, or if they're still living at home, that's fine. Doesn't matter how old they are, but they have to have the same address.
Yeah, these are older sons, so.
Yep, so no.
And another one's coming in, so they have been paying reduced amounts.
Oh.
Because they thought that they qualified for that, so.
Nope. And it really comes down to that address,
Okay.
if they need an answer. And Tom, you were going to say something?
I was just going to say that the District 37 dues are individual. They're not separate. They don't have a designation for.
That's right. That's right. The district dues of, I think, $25 is going to be the same no matter. That's just a flat amount for every member. You're absolutely correct. Thank you, Tom. I'm only talking about LCI's, our international dues. I found it interesting when I was at the USA Canada Forum in Des Moines. They actually did a graph and kind of showed you how these dues are split out and all the different things that they do. When your member says, well, why do we have to pay these dues? Say, well, because there's a lot of benefits that we get from LCI for the club. And if I can find some of that stuff that I had, I actually took some pictures of it. I'll send it to you. It was a really cool graph that showed, and we're, there's grants that our clubs can get from LCI just because we have a project Not from the foundation, but actually from LCI. Maybe a special activity that we did, and you might get recognized for that. Okay, so we've kind of, my main point was to for sure talk about members and then talk about the officers. I just kind of wanted to show you what's there. The My District here, this is, you can actually see every district in Montana, 64 clubs, and go if you want to see, and here's where, again, it's important that their president of their officer is up to date, that maybe your meeting and where you meet is up to date. I'm going to tell you right now, when we come down here to Coots Sweetgrass, we used to meet. I say this, we used to meet on the fourth Tuesday. We don't now. Our president says, well, let's meet the first Tuesday this month, or let's meet when we do this or that or the other thing. But anyway, and our meetings were, see, and it shows right here that we vary monthly. My secretary must have put that in there. Our location has been at the Methodist Church, but now that we have our community center kind of up and running, this will probably change. But by saying that it varies, at least that way the district governor knows to call the club president and find out where he might come to visit. But you've got, when the meeting is, where the meeting is, those kinds of things. So if the club has a specialty, that might be listed. I know that when Shelby becomes their own club, their focus is diabetes. So maybe you would put something like that. Here's, maybe there's a particular cause that you're, and somebody else might want to talk to you about that. So there's our clubs. The district profile, district image. Okay. We're a single district, kind of talks about how we're made up. That hasn't been updated though. So I guess we need to find out who does that. I have no idea. This stuff would be done, I suppose, by Dennis Kopinski, maybe. Here's your district governor, past district governor, first and second vices. Dennis Kopinski is our secretary. Dan Crum is the treasurer. Monty Weisner is he works with the Sight and Hearing Foundation. Maybe that's why he's listed there. But, and look at this, new club application. So this is where, there might be one that's out there that's being formed, I guess. So I think that's probably enough on this website. Are there any other questions before we move on, or comments? Things that
I had asked about that update of that. That's what got us started. The update of the club called the membership reporting status.
Oh, right.
You can go back to November.
Yep. Okay, so here's members. So here's report no changes for the month. So see, for example, if you click on this, you can go back 3 months, Tom. And where's
that at?
Okay, you click on My Lions Club and click on members.
Just a minute.
And,
My Lions Club.
Yep.
Members.
And then and then you should see a box for adding members, and we did look at that. But then you have a box right next to it that says report no changes for the month.
Oh, I got it. Okay.
And
Perfect.
November should still be accessible for you. And if you click on it, I'm just going to do it.
Yep,
I'm
I
just
did
going to
it.
click on it.
Yep.
There you go. And then you can.
Okay, I remember that now. I'd found that before, but I couldn't remember what it was. Okay. Got it.
Oh, perfect.
Thank you.
Oh, you are so welcome. So see, we didn't apparently do August either. Okay. So let's go back now up here to return to your Lion account. This is that home page that we were in before. And where'd you go? Come on.
Mine isn't working either.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Well,
Maybe because we were in it so much, it logged us out.
it might have. Okay, so if that's the case, then let me see what happens if I just back up. Oh dear. We did a lot of stuff, didn't we? I figure it can't hurt to try, right?
Hmm.
Wow. Well,
Wow.
let me do this. Let me just close out.
Yeah, they went to bed. They went somewhere.
They died on us, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let me try sharing the screen again. And we'll go back to Google. Maybe. I hope. Really?
There it went. And it came back up. All of a sudden, it came back up. Okay.
Can you see it?
Yeah.
There it is.
It
Okay.
came back.
Oh, on yours it did?
Yeah.
Okay,
The whole thing,
okay.
the whole homepage
Oh.
came.
Good.
Back up.
Well, I wonder if they had a blip because Lord knows that's never happened.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The wind
Oops.
gust.
Well, oh my gosh, I don't know about you guys, but it's been awful up here. We had like 5 semi trucks. Come on. Ugh. I wonder if I shouldn't have gotten all the way out, huh? Oh, I have the wrong email address, no wonder. Can you tell? Oops. Yeah, it's not going to find me in that. There we go. No wonder it was confused. You do have to start with the right information in order to get the system to work, for sure, for sure. Yay. All right. Took me back to where we were. Yes. This is the scariest thing for me, is to have it not work. Come on, there's, huh. Well, I don't really want to log out again. You said you got yours to come back up, right, Tom? Do I just have to sit here for a
Yes, I
minute?
did. Yeah. No, I went right back into, in my Google, I went down and saw my line again and hit that again the second time, and it went right back into the home page.
Okay.
I have everything now.
Ah, I just had to be patient, which by the way, I'm not. Okay. So the next important thing, I guess, to spend some time talking about is what's in My Lion. And that's this first icon. And this is what we were talking about with activities. It was working really well yesterday for me. So I'm going to keep my fingers crossed that it comes up. Because that we're all going to have to reconvene if I can't get this thing to work, because it's the activities reporting stuff is really important. Tom, can you get it to go to activities?
Let's see here.
We'll have you share your screen.
Yeah, right.
Come on. Wow.
Now, are you talking about my LCI or the line?
Yeah. Yeah, the first icon,
Okay.
which I always think they should be the opposite of what they are. Go back.
Service activities, because
Okay.
I haven't been able to figure out how to do this.
Well, and that's what I really wanted to show everybody. I'm
Yeah.
going to be really upset if we can't get it to come up. Wow. You know? Okay. So here's your home page. See, it's loading. Maybe I just need to sit here for a minute. I hope their website's not down. This would be awful. Let me see what, okay. It's not spinning anymore. So now we're going to click on My Lion. I'm just going to be patient.
My membership portal is not coming up. Oh, there it goes. Just did. Just
Okay.
popped up. So you're talking about it, my LCI.
No, I'm talking about are you back where you're looking at membership and club
Membership
information?
portal. Okay, I'm in
Okay,
membership portal.
okay.
My
That's-
Lion, my LCI, is that what you want? Or do you want the My Lion?
Nope. You want you want the first one, My Lion, and it should look
Okay,
like
got it.
this.
Got it.
This is the web page it should take you to. And it's called My Lion.
It's taken, yeah, okay, now it came up. Yep.
Okay, so here you are this is your activity reporting portal.
Okay.
You have signature activities and you have upcoming activities.
Well, what's
but
a signature activity?
believe it or not, Doug, it's like anything that your club wants it to identify with. So our club, for example, for years and years and years and years has supported our swimming pool here in town. In fact, we were, and we're talking 30 years ago or 20 years ago, or however long it's been. So we do some activities that specifically to raise funds for our pool. And like the pancake supper, let's call it the pancake supper. Now, one of the things that we found out, the pool got a huge grant here not too long ago. So now our signature activities for our, let's say, Mother's Day brunch or the senior
Okay.
party or our Christmas stroll, they are club specific. I thought maybe they were those, oh shoot, and
So it's something you do every year type thing, or?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. And maybe you create a new activity and you say, wow, this went so well. We're going to do this every year. It becomes a signature activity after that.
Okay.
So here you're looking at Coot Sweetgrass. And if you want to go in, I've never, ever done a planned future activity. I report past activities.
A lot easier.
Yes, it is. It's a lot easier because you do the future one and it's that 5-page thing that you have to go through. But here you can see some of the stuff that our club does. First of all, you have meetings. That for us we have a meeting every month. You guys do it weekly, then you've got a lot more hours to put in because having a meeting is part of what your club does to plan events or decide how you want to do new events, who's going to be on what committees. All those things are part of what it takes us to be service for our community. So let's look at this one. Here's staining the park. So this is all we had to complete. We had to say that it was what the club is. A lot of this information just comes up automatically. You say the date. It was, we're serving the people in our community. There's a good 300 kids who come and use this thing. We had 4 volunteers. It took them 8 hours. What we don't have in here is probably how much it cost. So, but let me show, you can duplicate this. Let's say that, let me go back. Let me just go back here and pick the meeting. Let's do our meeting. Our club collects something for the food bank each time we have a meeting. And, so our meeting becomes not only just a meeting, but it also serves our cause, the hunger cause. But let's duplicate this. And we're going to do a past report and we're just going to continue. And now I can say, here's my December meeting. Okay. And the date goes blank. So now you have to put in the new date. We actually ended up having that meeting on the 5th because it was part of our senior party. We're just going to call it a meeting. You'll see these are the choices you have. It can be a service project, a fundraiser, a meeting, or just a donation. You're going to give a $500 to LCI Foundation, or you're going to give $200 to the Leader Dogs, or you're going to do $100 to your local senior group, however it is. And this time, let's say we didn't have 40 people at the meeting. We only had 36. And so then, but the volunteer hours really should be, the meeting always lasts at least an hour. So let's call it 36 hours. Are there additional matrices? Number of people who were served? What was donated? Was it an LCIF donation? How many funds did you raise? These are extra things. And here, because we did our food bank, we're going to serve, let's say, I think she told me that it's like 15 families. Let's just say 30 people. I'm making this up, okay? And there were no funds donated. And then you can say report. And oh my God, you do not want to know how many times this hasn't worked in the past. They really have it, I think, finally so that it's going to work. So now all of a sudden, from my November meeting, I now have a December meeting. And I'm the creator here, and I will go in and take this out because this really didn't happen. But you can duplicate your things. Let's do a new one. We're going to come up here and just click on report. And I'm going to call this, oh, look at all the choices I have just from past stuff. I'm going to call this Sunburst Community Center. We are so fortunate here. We had one of our members saw last summer where Lowe's was doing a 100th year, their 100th year celebration anniversary. And they said, oh yes, Dawn, sorry.
No worries. Silly question.
No,
We-
there is
we
no
do
such
a-
thing.
We do a highway cleanup
Okay,
twice a year, which would be one of our regular activities. So when it comes to how many people we served, how would you put that down? I mean,
that's a great question. You know,
literally, there's 20,000 people that drive that highway every day.
exactly. We're 9 miles from the Canadian border. Imagine the number of truckers that go through here because we are a 24-hour port. You know, I put let's back out of here. Let's just go back here. Let me show you a highway. I have a highway cleanup in here. Somewhere. Making masks.
Is
Here it is, highway cleanup. So here's what I said for us. I said the 300 people, we have about, we say we have 300 people in our town of Sunburst. I said, we served the people in our community to clean up the highway because what the area we clean is actually right at the intersection when you come into town, and then it's like a mile either way. I think you pick who benefits the most from the fact that we cleaned the highway? The people who have to look at it every day was sort of that's what I said. I think that what they recommend, I mean, you will get, if you start putting 1,000 people in there, it will come back and tell you you've exceeded the number of people that in reality they feel should be served. You can go over the top and they'll come back and kind of slap your hand. I've never had that happen, but basically, and see, here were some photos that we attached for folks that came and did the cleanup. We kind of defined what we did. But I said 300. Now, Dawn, I lost my paper. I covered you guys up. How could I have done that? So Dawn is in Hamilton. So you've got a fair number of people there.
Yeah.
But
Now,
I would-
the town's about 4,000
Okay.
and our highway cleanup is about 7 miles north of town.
So I think it would be very reasonable to say at least I would use that 4,000, see what happens. These are questions that are really hard because they're individual to each club. If it comes back and says that's not acceptable, then make it 2,000. But I really think that if you're doing 7 miles,
Let's see.
I
That's
put
a
a
lot.
number in there and it just came back and said, are you sure?
okay, try 2,500. Well, what can I say? I'm
about-
fortunate we're in a small town and we really wouldn't probably put that many, but I think, maybe try 2,500. I can't remember. There is something, where did I see that? Let me look at home here.
Can
Okay,
you
report activities may not immediately be, by the way, it may take a few minutes and see some matrices are capped. Let's take a look.
3,000?
3,000 is the per club activity. There you go. So that's what happened. number of volunteer hours. So I guess you would put 3,000, Dawn, just so it wouldn't come up and slap your hand. 250,000 is the cap for funds raised, 200,000 for donations. And see, a little club like us would never come even close to these. And 1,200 hours for the activity. Now, I have to be totally honest. Our club has been cleaning up every night after the carpenters are done in our community center, and we are gonna 1,200 would actually not be enough to identify the number of hours that we've actually done. I think we're close to 2,000. But if they cap it at 1,200, then maybe what we do is you create 2 activities. You know, one is the cleaning of the community center, and another is helping with the floors, or, you know, maybe you break that activity up so that you can identify the true level of volunteerism that you're trying to share with your activity.
Or set it up for different weeks.
There you go. Yeah, exactly. Because this project may, or at least once a month, because for
Right.
us, we started in October, September, or something like that. That's a good idea, Doug. Just break it up into smaller time frames. That's a
Peggy, this is Helen in Kalispell. I don't know how to raise my hand.
go through again. Now, if Helen, did you have something?
Yes, I would like to know how to put photos into the photo gallery
Okay.
to make our current photos. I'm having difficulty with that.
Okay, so let me just make one. Okay, let me just put this in. And we have a club. All this stuff comes up automatically because of you being logged in. Okay, so see, here's a multiple day activity. But let's just make it a single day. We'll make it today. And we'll call it a service project. And right now it's not a signature activity. Its cause is going to be other, because here are the 5 causes for LCI: hunger, environment, childhood cancer, diabetes, and vision. So if your club isn't involved in one of those, you're going to pick other. That's just the way it is. And, you know, you have a lot of more choices here under the type of project, but in our case, like here's assisting an individual, education or literacy, that would be something where, especially if you're doing like this Lion's Quest, that would be one. But I'm just going to say other service, how we do most of ours, quite frankly. Let's serve 30 people, and let's say that there were 5 of us and we did it for 3 hours, so 15. Okay. Now down here, when you click on this box that says featured photo, you're going to be able to upload an image. So you click that, you're going to select an image, and Peggy gets to go to her photos.
Oh,
And
okay.
okay, and then you just pick that photo, and doesn't look like I actually have any in that place. Ooh, nope.
So if I use my cell phone, I need to put it into my computer, out of my
Yep.
cell phone. Into
Yep,
the file,
you
in
do.
photos.
Unfortunately, yeah. Actually, it's probably on my desktop, but that's okay. But
Okay, well, you explained it to me, what I need to
Good.
know.
okay. And by the way, you can put multiple images in here. It's not just one, which I really like.
Yeah, we
Let
want
me
to play there.
let me show you what one of our past activities looks like. I'm pretty sure it had more than one picture in it. Did I see 2 here? Well, I showed you one where we had 2 photos. Actually, it was in it was our highway cleanup, had 2 photos in it. So you saw that. And you'll notice that a lot of our stuff this time of year, especially, are signature activities. Now we have a sign outside of town. This is what it looks like. And the club has helped purchase these light fixtures. We actually paid to have electricity brought out to a box. This is like a planter that sits outside of town. And we have a couple of gals who religiously go about every other month and update it. This was their Christmas one. But it's really fun to put some of these things out there, you know, so that folks can see them. And the pictures add so much. It really does. If you screw up, now I'm going to come in here and take this one because, as you know, I made this up. And so now I want to delete it. I can edit it, I can duplicate it, and I can delete it and just say, yep, Peggy made that up. And then it should go away. If you wanted to, let me see here. If you want to plan a future one, this plan future activity, this is what the old system looked like. This is what you used to have to do to set up any kind of an activity. You had to pick the type. They had a little bit of examples over here, and I actually have a handbook that would describe this. But let's just say that you're going to do a fundraiser, and it's going to be, here are our 5 LCI programs, initiatives. I'm going to pick other and continue. And then you have to pick the service type. Now, see, these are the same things that are listed on that single page, but we're going to do other service activity.
So if you plan an activity, do you have to go back in and change it with all this other stuff that you did?
You know what, Doug? I don't think so, but I don't know for sure.
But how do you get credit for all your hours that you did if you don't? That's why.
Well, exactly. So we have a community calendar.
Oh.
And I'm just going to see what happens. We've done this forever. The place name is Sunburst. And yeah, but see, everything that has an asterisk on it, see every one of these things that has an asterisk, you have to put an answer in or it won't accept it. So I'm just going to say Sunburst again. You can put anything in there, not
You
wherever.
put Sunburst MT, it'll go.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Okay. And then, okay, so there, and then it brings up your time zone. Really? They really need that, huh? And the start date has to be today. I was trying to do this because we actually started the calendar like in October, but the end date is going to be, I think we get them by the end of February. I'm just going to put this in here. And then we're going to put community, oops, Peggy can't type. This is our anniversary and birthday calendar. It includes ad sales, okay? And then you continue. And now, really, you can invite people. Huh.
But that's only if you mark your club, it's only the ones who've signed up.
Okay. So then you would come in here and you would pick everybody who's in the club. Oh, I see. Oh, this is kind of cool. All right. I don't know what happens when you invite them. What happens? Do they get some kind of a notice? I'm just curious.
I thought they were getting emails, but I don't think they are.
I hope not. But see, I've got I would have to X out my Shelby people because they wouldn't. I'm hoping I can remember who they are. Logan, Ewing. It's kind of funny. They all kind of are in the first half now. But anyway, okay. But you could take people out if you had people in there that weren't involved. Maybe you have your committee members as those that are invited. That would kind of make sense, sort of. And then you submit and you're finished. Your activity has been created and your invite sent. Oh dear. Well, there you go. So I now have a future activity, I guess. Oh, activities. Here we go. Home. Interesting. So if I select it though, now I can go in and I can copy and I can I'm going to just remove this because who knows. I guess I'll find out if I get a whole bunch of people saying, so what was that all about?
I don't think you will.
No, hopefully not. So, I guess you can go through that process. I'm curious to know what will happen then when you hit February 28th. I'm assuming that it would become a past activity, but you would be able to go in, oops.
You just report the past activity.
So do you have to do that report again?
All the information comes over, you just add the hours.
Oh, okay.
People.
Perfect. Perfect. And if you find out later on that you've put something in incorrectly or you didn't have the right number of hours, obviously you can bring that up. You can edit it. You can add more information. You can change all this information. But again, everything with a red asterisk has to be answered, or when you click on report, it won't finish it. It'll come back and say you don't have all your information or something along those lines. So if you hit it and it doesn't work, first thing you should do is go in and see if you've got all these required to report things in there. But other than that, I can just cancel out of there. This is actually the best that this website has ever worked for me during a presentation, just so everybody knows. I mean, it is nice to have the thing actually work. Any questions now? Enid might be able to answer them better than me.
Well, no, I've had problems with mine. I've had LCI twice. It won't let me do certain things. So, and
Yeah.
I thought it was fixed, but now I'm finding out I can't again.
Well, and honestly, I used to have a lot of trouble uploading photos. It seems to be working pretty well right now. It might be that you're holding your hands wrong, or it's the wrong hour of the day. Because it unfortunately, and here is, by the way, a number down here, but I have to be totally honest. I don't know how many people, because of COVID, I know that they are not fully staffed. So getting a hold of somebody to help you might take more time than you want. But again, any questions? Wow, we're at 8 o'clock already. How did that happen? I want to go back because I actually forgot to show you something that I learned. So under here now, see, here's our applications again. Maybe. It's thinking. I am so proud of my internet. I won't tell you how many times I've been on Zoom meetings and I get dropped. I've got the little message a few times that I had a weak connection, but I think it's working. Oh my. Maybe it's working.
I think you spoke too soon.
I probably, yeah, but slap me silly. What was I thinking?
Hold your hands right.
Yeah. Pray, I think, maybe part of it too. It's thinking.
Do you do things on the Lions eClubhouse?
On a what?
On the Lions eClubhouse? Do you have one of those set up?
No, we don't. Is that a way for people to put in their hours and stuff?
Well, it's just a local, I mean, it's something anybody can access. I don't see a lot of people accessing it, but I put all my minutes on it, and I also have trying to keep a history going on it.
Oh.
And, so
I found a lot of trouble accessing it, getting in and doing things, but I have one member who always wants to look at that one.
Yeah,
There's
I did
always
too.
somebody, right? I'm going to back up and see if I can get me back here. Maybe here, let me do it this way. Home is supposed to, come on. Yay. Okay, my prayers were answered. Here is learn, which we kind of, maybe. I showed you a slide on it, but if you click on learn, here's where you can do some other online training. And again, keeping our fingers, it's working. So content, So here are the different courses under content. If you click on content, you can see presidents, club secretaries, treasurers, Leo Club program learning. They've got quite a few different things here, club officer training. And these courses have all been, coming obviously from LCI, but wow, they've added a lot. Meeting management, new club development. Wow. I had no idea. Believe it or not, the last time I looked on here, it was these three things right here: president, secretary, and treasurer. So they have really added a whole bunch of stuff. And here, see, I actually did the secretary learning and I achieved on May of 2020. That's when I went and did some stuff on here. Anyway, so, but this might not be a bad place to go to see some other stuff. I'm surprised. Our training that we're doing right now, you guys are all going to be on this video that's being recorded that will actually be posted. It's going to be a YouTube, but there'll be a link on our montanalions.org website. So, okay, now how do I, okay, what do you guys think? Okay, here's our little guy here. Is that going to, maybe not. Obviously, I started the treasurer and then didn't finish it. Shame on me, huh? Okay. Well, I'm just going to do this. See if I can get back out. Because it kind of took me out, didn't it? Okay. Phew. The LCI Institute, obviously, if you click on here, you're going to see a bunch more stuff, maybe. It might have been a bad idea. We're just spinning. There we go. They actually are having a program, it looks like, in March, but local training. Okay, but I was kind of excited when it actually, well, see, ours is gone now. The only one that's left for local is going to be the club training for treasurers, which Mike Collins is doing on the 15th. So there you go. Okay, so let's go back. I'm hoping, there we go. See this little guy, this bar with these 9 things. That's what I was looking for on that other page that I thought would take me back here to our applications. But I'm actually going to go back to my LCI for a minute. You've all been to the store. Shopping is a bad idea, just saying. We do use the napkins. I ordered napkins. We were doing a luncheon last May, it might have even been June. And they said, hey, can we get some napkins? I said, sure. And I ordered them. And, oh, I don't know, about a week after the thing was over, my napkins finally showed up. So it took a while, but they have lots of stuff. And our club uses, some of their products for, tablecloths and napkins and all that fun stuff. It's tired. I don't know if any of you have ever had a member that left the club for any particular reason, but we just had 2 members that have not been, they hadn't been members for years, and they came up and said, we really want to come back to the club, and they paid their dues. And so I had to add a member, and see down here where we have returning members. You can do a search by name. Let's do, I know one I can do. But here's, if you know the name, you can do that. Actually, I think what I did is I didn't put anything in. There we go. Oh, at least one search is required. Okay. Well,
Slow trying to write this.
I think if you were to the previous screen, you go click on the right side, it asks what kind of members you can look for, and there's deleted members.
oh, okay. If I go back one.
I think that's the way I've.
Oh,
Yeah.
fine. Here we go. We can find members. You can find active, dropped. I think this was where I saw the list. Maybe was
Right.
where I had
That gives
dropped.
you a list right there.
Yep. So here's the list. And then you could go in and find the person that you want to bring back, but you really don't need a number or anything to do it. All you need is, just part of their name or whatever, but I'll just put like, let's put D in. So here's people that I could pick. And then all you basically have to do is say, add the member. And click add again. Now, what we discovered in doing that, when that person we added two, they didn't have phone numbers, they didn't have email addresses, and of course their household hadn't been set up because we didn't do that back then. So you have to once you get them in there, you're probably going to have to edit them to put some more information in. But I knew that you could do, and transferring, I think you can actually have someone who maybe, I know we have people who have come into the state and join clubs from out of state, and they probably just have to have their member ID number for you to transfer. However, the other club has to have let them go, I think, before you can get them moved into you.
Right.
Okay.
And I think
Right.
that's what I use that for, is to find the membership number, so that when they go to another club, they have a membership number, so they can pull it up, and then they can get all their years of service.
Right. I mean, if you've got someone who is a Lion and they're moving from one club to another, you don't want to add them as a new member. You want to transfer them because, like
Right.
you say, then that maintains their continuity as a Lion, and that's really important for them. So I'd forgotten to kind of talk about that. So we have some time. I mean, Mike put down 2 hours. I didn't know he didn't know if we'd need that much time or not, but I'm ready to open this up. Let me just ask, do any of you want me to cover anything else or look at anything, or?
Peggy, this is Helen again.
Yes.
In the shopping part, sometimes they want me to order things. And
Uh-huh.
I've been just doing it on my account and getting reimbursed.
Oh, right.
And Monty Weiser said that in there
Uh-huh.
somewhere, I should be able to order and the club be billed.
Yes. And I have done that. And I think now when I did it, I might have been the treasurer, but it may be, but we should be able to, let's
Well,
look.
we would be signed in already. Our account would be, we would be signed in as secretary.
Yep,
So that
exactly.
makes it
I just
legitimate.
did that. I just did that. And when you go to the page where you're going to put in your credit card information, down on the bottom left, there's a little box that says My LCI, and you can click that and it'll bill the club.
That's right. I was going to say, I
Bottom
knew I'd,
left.
okay, so let's add this to the cart. Well, let's do that. Okay, so let's check out. Dun, 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 maybe.
Have to select an order.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, it's right here. Select. So see,
Oh,
if when you select the order type, if I select my club and I click
That's
checkout, the club will get billed.
order
So
type.
it's actually right here where you can do it. Is that what you were thinking, Dawn?
And you can do it there. Then there's another place when you're doing the checkout with a credit card, you can also do it there.
Okay.
Okay.
But I think this is where I did it, was I just put it right here. I don't actually want to go any further in case it actually gets more banquet napkins that I don't need because I just got them. But this would be the easiest thing to do. And then when you can check out, the club will get billed at that point.
Okay,
Perfect.
that will be very helpful. Thank you.
Good, good. What else did you not know you wanted to know until now?
The only thing I wondered is, like, the zone chair, how are we really supposed to communicate with the state and the zone chair?
You mean a club? How to
As a
communicate?
secretary.
Oh, as the secretary? Some of that's going to have to come from them. I think that your zone chair will hopefully set up some kind of a meeting, either to come and visit just your club or to have kind of a zone group meeting. And I ended up doing mine, quite frankly, Doug, with Zoom.
Okay.
But I think probably what we're looking for between you, the club, and the district, and the zone's purpose is to provide a medium for you to communicate with your zone chair. So let's say that your club feels like, it needs more support in some area. And whether it's training or you haven't seen a district governor in 3 years, of course, unfortunately with COVID, that might be a kind of an unfair thing to look at.
Right.
But maybe you have some needs and you don't know where to find the answer, but your zone chair then would be your intermediary person that you could contact, if you wanted to start there, and if you have a relationship with them, hopefully you can find, let's see, how do I get out of shop here? Let's see, really don't. I want to get back to, okay, here we go. Under in your here membership here, see where we've got, here's your zone, here's my zone person listed right here under the other
Okay.
officers. And so, and let's, there should be, oh, these are my officers. That's not what I wanted. I want my district. Nope, we already did that one, didn't we? But anyway, well, oh, here we go. Cabinet secretary, okay, that's only the district, so that's not going to do it either. So let me go back to my club here. Let me go home. I was hoping that you could click on Chris and see his information, but we can certainly look him up. I happen to know because he happens to be in my club. But you'd
Right.
find the name of your zone chair there. You can get a
So
hold
there's
of that.
not meetings that I'm supposed to be going to, or,
No, and not unless you've been contacted by your zone chair to have a meeting.
okay,
Yeah, the zone chair would be responsible for coordinating that, figuring out where you guys could meet,
Right.
and contacting you to let you know. For sure,
Okay.
for sure. No, there would be no responsibility on your part if nobody has told you that there's something for you to attend. I understand what your question is because, because the zones, because as the secretary, now you're sort of part of the zone cabinet, because all the presidents and secretaries within a zone hopefully get together and have a meeting so that if there's an area of concern, I mean, let's look at Port Denton, that just had all the fires, that particular zone. In fact, Mike's seen a lot of activity and emails and stuff saying, hey, how can we help? How can we help? But that help would maybe start by that president contacting his zone chair. Let's say that you have something happen in your community and you need help. Contact your zone chair who could contact the district governor. But our district, we're small. I mean, we're Montana.
Right.
In some areas where you've got thousands of people, it helps to have that intermediary as opposed to trying to get a hold of somebody that's, maybe not as easy to contact. But either your zone chair or your district governor, I really think that the hierarchy, if you want to call it that, like if we're in a company and you've got a complaint, you go to your boss, you go to your immediate manager, and if he doesn't help you, then you move up the ladder, kind of a thing.
right,
Theoretically, that's what we have here. Excuse me. You've got somebody kind of in your immediate physical area that you can contact. The region chairperson, we have 4 regions in Montana. So 14 zones and 4 regions, and then of course the district. And that is maybe so that you would be able to have a face-to-face with people that are in your area that
Right.
maybe are having similar issues or needs, or or you want to share your successes.
Okay.
You know, it doesn't
So
have to be
I was,
because there's a problem.
I was looking for a grant, something. I would talk to the zone chairman about applying for something like that.
And also, and they would probably then put, if you're talking about a grant from LCIF, from the foundation,
Yeah.
then actually at the district level, you would want to talk to somebody like Larry Garrison. He's our LCIF chair.
Okay.
But he would be, or even call Mike, you know, because but yeah, I
Tom
would.
Who?
Oh.
Tom who?
Larry
Garrison.
Lary Garrison. Yeah. Garrison is his last name.
Okay, Larry. Oh. Okay, I thought you gave me two people.
Oh, no, sorry.
Just one. Okay.
No, but Larry
Oh.
Garrison is the district LCIF coordinator
Okay,
at
good.
this point in time. Yep. Yep. But, you know, I think our goal is just to make sure that, you know, we have, oh, I know what we can go do. Are we done in here? Does anybody want to see anything else?
Nope.
Please, we're really done with the whole website thing, right? Oops, there we go. My mouse kind of got tired and went away. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing that. Hi, there's faces again. Oh, it's so weird on my end. You just can't imagine. But what I wanted to do, actually, oops, I didn't do that right. I have to click this green button first. I do want to show you one more thing. I just couldn't remember how to do. So let's just go to montanalions.org. The website has been officially released. And it will look, if you haven't been on here in a couple of months, it's going to look really different because we've kind of redesigned it. Not we, but I don't know if you're aware of this, but the district, you know, for years and years, we had a couple of our members who were kind of volunteers who were handling the website and doing a good job. But can you imagine how many hours that took? And so at the district level, they decided here this year that, you know, that's not really fair. And the guy that was doing it said, you know, I'm really done with this. So we have hired a company called Edge Marketing, and they helped put together our new website, and they're responsible for helping to maintain it. But in this website, you can come down here and find all of our clubs. And what I would like each of you guys to do, not guys and gals, each of you wonderful secretaries to do is to, oops, that's not where I wanted to be. I thought I was clicking on, oh, find a club. I did click on find a club, didn't I? Let's do it up here. All right. News, donate, contact, club directory. Under contact us, club directory. And here is every club. So let's see. I'll just pick mine. So here's the information that came out of the directory. Okay. So we've got our membership. These are some LCI. If you saw these in on my account, you saw these very same people. But see, Nancy Linnell is single. So obviously she shouldn't have Mike behind her as a spouse. So there's an error here that we need to fix. But if you go through and look at what's listed for your club, make sure, you know, phone numbers, email addresses. If it's not correct, then we need to fix it. And I want to say that probably
there. How did you get there? The directory.
Yep. Okay, up here at the top.
Home.
home where we were when you first log in, all
Yeah.
the way to the right where it says contact us,
Got it.
you
Club
have club directory, right? So go in there, and if you find an error, what I'm going to suggest that we do for now is come back up here under contact the district governor, enter your name, and his email address is governor hyphens, it's right up here on this form, and type a message and say, we have an error. This is what it is, and we will get it fixed. But this, and what happened, what they had to do was they had to take that, club directory that we have. It's a binder that's been put together, and it was in, I think, Word. They had to re-enter all of the information in that directory, all of our club information, and they had to re-enter it by hand. So there will be typos, and there were probably errors in the directory if a club hadn't gotten all of their membership information and officer information updated. So this is sort of why all of that stuff ties together and why it's so important that we maintain this information and keep it current. Maybe a president has to step down, or maybe they move or they leave the club for some reason and you have to put a new president in. If you don't go in and do that in that officer section in our My Lion, then our information will be wrong everywhere else because it's all coming down to this. Now here, also in our directory, you can see our advisory committee, the 12 members. There they are. Here's the 12 members of the advisory committee. Here's the budget and finance. Here's the 38 cabinet members. Here's who's responsible for communication. Oh, here's LCIF. Let's look at this, Doug. Okay, so here under LCIF, here are the people that you can contact about foundation grant. And here's Larry Garrison, who I was talking to you about, who is our LCIF membership president. He's our team leader for grant coordinator. How about that? I actually found where you can find his information.
Great
So
job.
exciting. How about that? If the directory doesn't have the right information in it, and look at this, we can download the directory. Dun, da, da. How about that? Now, this is the directory that everybody physically had in their hands. And it's just a PDF of all the information that has been hopefully translated into the website. But this is the directory that Dennis Kopinski sends out. So if you don't want to go through all of the individual clubs, here it is. But it's a ginormous document. Which is why we've kind of put it on the website so we could break it up and just see clubs. But, first you have all the district stuff, and then here's your club information. And this is exactly what that document looked like. But they had to hand enter from this document into the website database. And hopefully we'll be able to start generating a directory out of the database instead of the other way around. But here's all your club information. Here's how we can all contact each other. Larry is in Billings, just so you know, Doug. But there is going to be a ton of information on the website as we go forward. So kind of excited about that. All right, so now what do I do here to get out of this? My mouse is unhappy. Okay. So let's go back. Okay. We set up the website so that you're going to be able to do donations. We can donate to Lions International. You can donate to the Montana Sight and Hearing Foundation. Maybe this would be a way to send money to Denton if that's what they wanted to do. I'm not really sure. I'm not going to pretend that I know how to do all of this stuff. I just wanted you guys to start kind of looking at, and here's how you can submit your club news. I know that Mike got a couple of emails from the Sweet Pea Club. They were trying to get their stuff on there, and that you can upload pictures or handwrite a story, or have a story written up. Huh?
You clicked on news to get submit
Yep.
club news?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep,
Very
right
good.
there.
Okay.
Yeah. And if we go back to home, I'm pretty sure, I want to say, Lions, here's news events. There you go. So see, here's some of the clubs. Ennis did a Lions Halloween party. Here's the newsletter that was done in November. Bozeman Sweet, it's supposed to say Sweet Pea, not Sweet Peak Lions. And then if you click on the item, I think it'll take you, and here's pictures. So how cool is this that now our clubs can share amongst ourselves? So if you put something, when you're entering all of your activities and you think, this is something I really want to share with the district, here's another way that you can do that. Here are our events. Oh, look at this. We're having club training. Woohoo. Our district convention, at least, well, these dates are wrong. I know that they originally assumed it would be this weekend. It's actually going to be the weekend after. So it should say April 29th through May 1st, but it is going to be in Great Falls, but these dates are wrong. Patty Hill is going to be the speaker. It's in Great Falls. I can assure you that my husband, who's the district governor, feels very strongly that every Lion should be there, but here's some information on it. But we do need to get some of this updated because the actual dates of the convention are wrong in here. And
So
we're
how
working
do you
on
go
that.
about doing that again?
Okay, the way that we're updating the website, we get a certain amount of time every month from Edge Marketing in Helena, and they will go in and make changes for us. Jack Beckman, who is the chair of the convention, should be contacting Deanna, is the gal's name at Edge, who's responsible for the website. And we send her an email and she fixes it. But Jack Beckman, who's the chair of the convention committee in Great Falls clubs, I'm sure, are all kind of working on that together. They will be responsible for getting that taken care of. So we're kind of trying to make sure that we don't step on each other's toes, but it'll happen. And here's some information about, let's look at causes. I'm curious. Okay, so see, here's some of the stuff that they've taken, that's general information about Lions. And maybe these are the endorsed projects for our district. The Sight and Hearing Foundation, Florence Crittenden Home, Leader Dog, the foundation, obviously, but also Montana has diabetes, the Association for the Blind. So all of these are things, projects that have been endorsed by the district, and things that maybe your club might have a particular desire to support. I know that, like I say, our branch club in Shelby, their main efforts go toward diabetes. They did a diabetes walk and raised funds for their local needs that they had, getting testers and things for kids, or sending kids to some of the camps that they have. But here's a way to request the vision screening. I don't know how many of your clubs have the Plus Optics, but obviously we have now a way here where if you don't have one available, here's some information. And if you just send notices, and this will go directly to Dave Falcon, who's responsible for then finding a club close by who could do your vision screening. But I think that as we go through here, we will hopefully be able to refine this, correct it. Here's our organization. It talks about how we became a single District 37 in July of 2015. And I don't know how many of you know, but the Coot Sweetgrass Club was literally the only actual international club. We had members out of Coots in Alberta, Canada, and members in our local area here in North Toole County. And when they redistrict everybody and we became just Montana, we lost that status in a way. We'll never lose the history of what we had, but we did kind of lose our status for being an international club because we're no longer in an international district. We used to be like part of district. It was like N something or other, and it was Montana and part of Alberta. Here's our governors. And then here again, you can view the directory from here as well. And here's a way. We actually, I know Mike has gotten some emails from people who came on and said, hey, I want to become a member. And he has forwarded that to a local club that would be the closest to them. And so we're hoping that this will allow our district to be more visible to each other, to have some resources that the clubs, can benefit from as people move in and out of our areas. And anyway, that and there will be a link on here soon where you can go directly to that My LCI, My Lion thing from here. So we're trying to make it a one-stop shop. If we can remember MontanaLions.org, we'll be able to find our way to the rest of the stuff. That link is not here. It used to be on the old website, so I'm not really sure what happened, but it should be back in the district website here, hopefully soon. At least I couldn't find it. And Mike already sent an email to Deanna and said, where's our link to our LCI websites and the training that's out there and stuff like that. So, but there's a lot of information on here that you can send a prospective member to kind of get a feel for what's going on. All right, now I'm going to stop sharing. I think we're about websited out. How are we doing, guys? Gals?
Good.
Any more
That's
questions? Did I cover everything that you were hoping to hear?
Yes.
So, yes.
Okay. I will be emailing to those of you that were on. Let me see. I've got Doug. I know you weren't on my original list, and I know that Nina wasn't, and Helen and Sandy. I think everybody else. Oh, and Jean. So I'll make sure I get those email addresses, and I'll get you. I did a PDF of the presentation, but I also had the document of why report service. And I think I included the ebook, but I also want to do kind of a follow-up with all of you. Here's my email address. Here's my phone number. Call me if you have questions. If there's anything I can do to help, that's why I'm here.
Terrific.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank
You
you.
are
Yes.
Thank you
welcome.
from Helen.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming, because, without you, I would have been here talking to myself, which would be even scarier than what else I was doing. Okay, thank you all, and have a good rest of the
Thank
evening.
you.
Thanks for sharing.
Merry
too.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry
Christmas. And
Yes, yes, I can't believe it's time for that. All right,
yes.
all of you.
Thanks
take
so
care.
much, Peggy.
Oh, you're
Thank you.
welcome. Thank
All right,
you.
good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Take care. Okay. I guess I'll let Mike Collins know we're done so he can quit recording. So Mike, if I leave now, will his recording quit?